You are not terrible with money. You are just very good at being kind to a stranger, and that stranger is you in 10 minutes. Here is the thing nobody will tell you. The reason your account looks like a crime scene at the end of the month is not laziness, and it is not stupidity, and it is not some moral rot in your character. It is a single mechanism running quietly in your head, and it has a name: present bias. Your brain treats the version of you who exists right now as a real, breathing person with real needs, and it treats the version of you who shows up next month as a vague acquaintance you owe nothing to. So you spend the present person's wants out of the future person's wallet every single time, and then you act surprised when the future person turns out to be broke. You have been told the opposite your whole life. You have been told you lack discipline, that you need a tighter budget, that other people just try harder. None of that is true, and the people who told you it had no idea what was actually happening inside your skull. What is happening is structural. It is wired in. And once you see the wiring, you stop hating yourself and start outsmarting yourself, which is the only move that has ever worked. Let me count the ways this plays out. 7 money habits that keep you poor, ordered from the merely annoying to the one that quietly eats your whole life. You will recognize yourself in at least 4 of them. That is not an accident. That is the design. Number 7. You buy the thing the second you decide you want it. The moment the want appears, you treat it as an emergency that must be resolved before the feeling cools. You see it, you tap, it is yours, and the dopamine arrives before the package does. Nobody told you that the wanting and the buying are 2 completely separate events that your brain has glued together. When you put even a single day between them, something strange happens. The want shrinks. The thing that felt essential at 9 in the evening looks faintly ridiculous at 9 the next morning. It turns out most of your purchases are not decisions. They are reflexes wearing the costume of a decision. The future, you would have shrugged at half of it. The headphones you already owned a version of. The 3rd white shirt. The kitchen gadget that promised to change your life and now lives in a cupboard you never open. But the future, you was not invited to the meeting. The present, you signed the check and left the room before the bill came. Number 6. You round down your small spending and round up your income. In your head, the coffee is just $4. The lunch you did not pack is just $12. The delivery fee is just $3, and the tip is just $2, and the late night cart is just $20. Each one is just something, which is the most expensive word in the English language. Run the coffee alone forward a year, and it is more than $1,000, but your brain never runs it forward, because forward is where the stranger lives. Meanwhile, when you imagine your income, you imagine the big clean number, the one before tax, before rent, before the standing orders that fire while you sleep. So you walk around feeling richer than you are and spending smaller than you think. The gap between those 2 feelings is exactly the size of your overdraft. Nobody warns you that small does not mean cheap. Small means frequent. Small means invisible. And invisible is how the real money leaves. A big purchase you remember for a week. The small ones you forget by the time the card cools down, which is precisely why they are the dangerous ones. Number 5. You treat a sale as a reason to spend instead of a reason to save. The price drops 40% and your brain reads that as 40% saved when you have in fact spent 100% of something you were not going to buy. This is present bias dressed up in a discount sticker. The marketing exists to make the buying feel like winning. The countdown timer, the 3 left in stock, the little line telling you what you saved, all of it engineered to make standing still feel like losing money. So you grab it to stop the loss, and you call that being smart. You did not save $60. You spent $40 you did not have to spend on a thing whose only real feature was that it was cheaper than yesterday. And here is the part nobody admits. The good feeling is not about owning the item. It is about the moment of acquisition, the little hit of having gotten away with something. The item itself goes in a drawer by Thursday, tags still on, and you do not even feel the loss because the rush already cashed out. You did not want the thing. You wanted the rush of beating the price, and you paid full price for that rush. Number 4. You let the easy default decide for you, and the easy default is always to spend. Your card is saved on every site. Your address autofills. The buy button is the size of your fist, and the cancel link is hidden behind 3 menus written in gray. The subscription renews itself in silence, and the reminder to cancel never comes because nobody profits from reminding you. Every single system you touch is engineered so that doing nothing means spending, and stopping the spending requires effort, friction, and a small act of will at the exact moment you have the least of it. Tired, hungry, bored, a little sad at midnight. That is when the table is set for you. Nobody will tell you this, because the people building those buttons are very well paid not to. Your willpower is not the problem. You are playing a game where the house designed the table to tilt toward the hole. The future, you would beg you to add friction back in, log out of the store, delete the saved card, turn off one tap, buying, make spending take 30 extra seconds. Those 30 seconds are where the future you lives, and they are the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Number 3. You upgrade your life every time your income goes up, and you call it deserving it. You got the raise. You felt it for a weekend. Within a month, the raise was gone, absorbed into a slightly nicer flat, a slightly better phone, a subscription you forgot you started, a habit of saying yes to dinners you used to skip. Nothing here is reckless. Each upgrade is reasonable, defensible, almost invisible. That is what makes it lethal. This is the cruelest trick present bias plays, because it feels like progress. You are earning more and saving exactly the same amount, which is to say nothing, which means you have given yourself a more expensive life with the same fragile bottom under it. You are running faster on a belt that speeds up to match you. Here is the line nobody says out loud. A raise is not more money. A raise is a choice, and you keep choosing the present you. Every time your income rises and your savings do not, you have quietly told the future you that they can wait. They have been waiting for years. They're getting tired of you. Number 2. You avoid looking at your accounts because looking feels worse than not knowing. You know the balance is bad, so you do not check it because checking would make it real, and as long as it stays blurry, you can pretend it is fine. This is not laziness. This is your brain protecting the present you from a painful feeling by handing the whole problem to the future you, who will have even less information and even more debt. The unopened envelope on the counter, the app you swipe past on the home screen, the bank email you archive without reading, the card you hand over while quietly hoping it goes through. Each avoidance is a tiny loan you take from your own peace of mind at a brutal interest rate because the thing you are not looking at keeps growing in the dark. The interest compounds whether you watch it or not. The subscription you forgot keeps charging. The late fee lands and triggers another. Nobody tells you that not knowing your number does not protect you from it. It just means you find out later, when it is bigger and when you have fewer choices left. The fear of the truth costs more than the truth ever would. Looking is not the punishment. Looking is the escape, and that brings us to the one that runs underneath all the others. Number 1. You treat your future self like a stranger you will never have to meet. This is the engine room. Everything above is just present bias, finding a new doorway. When you skip the saving, when you tap the buy button, when you avoid the balance, when you spend the raise, you are making a bet that the future you will somehow be richer, calmer, more disciplined, and happy to clean up the mess. You imagine that person as a hero who arrives with a plan, a steadier income, and a sudden talent for restraint you have never once displayed. But that person is just you, with the exact same habits, plus the bill, plus less time to fix it. Researchers have actually watched this happen inside the brain. They put people in scanners and asked them to think about themselves today, then themselves in the distant future. When you think about yourself today, a specific part of your mind lights up, the part that says this is me, this matters. When you think about yourself in the future, that same part barely flickers. It lights up the way it does for a stranger on the street. So when you spend the future's money, your brain genuinely feels like you are spending someone else's. That is why it does not hurt. That is why it never hurts until it is too late to be a feeling and becomes a fact instead. Here is the peak, the thing I actually need you to hear. You are not bad with money. You are stuck in a single moment, and that moment keeps voting for itself. Every poor money habit you have is just the present, you outvoting the future. You in an election, the future you is not allowed to attend. The future you cannot speak. It cannot tap the brakes. It cannot say, wait. It can only inherit. And it inherits everything. Every just $4. Every forgotten subscription. Every sale you won. Every raise you ate. Every balance you would not look at. They are not gone. They moved into the future, and they are sitting there right now, waiting for you to arrive and pay rent on a decision you made while feeling fine. So what do you do, knowing this? You do not fix it with more willpower, because willpower is the present you, and the present you is the one causing the problem. Asking the present you to save is asking the thief to guard the vault. You fix it by making the future you a real person in the room. Give them a name. Picture them, older, in the flat they will actually live in, opening the account you are filling or draining right now. Make the choice, cost the present you a little something now, so the future you inherits a little something instead of a bill. Automate the saving so it happens before the present you wakes up and gets ideas. Add friction to the spending so the reflex has to become a decision again. Put one day between the want and the buy. Open the account and look at the number, because the number you can see is a problem you can solve, and the number you hide from is a problem that solves you. Notice the trick in every single fix. They all do the same thing. They drag the future into the present so it gets a vote. The automatic transfer lets the future you grab the money first. The deleted card lets the future you slow your hand. The one-day rule lets the future you walk into the meeting before the check is signed. That is the entire game. Not discipline, not shame, not a budgeting app you will abandon in 11 days. Just one move, made over and over. Let the future you sit at the table where the money decisions get made. Because here is the truth nobody told you, and I am telling you as one of the people who lived it. You were never terrible with money. You were just generous to the wrong person every day in tiny amounts until the right person, the one you are about to become, showed up with empty hands. Stop tipping the present you. Start paying the future you. They are the only version of you that ever has to live with the bill.